Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's look at the overall energy you're up against this week, your energy and your person. So I do you first, then your person, and then Aries through Pisces to do a quick check-in. Knight of Swords, my Gemini energy, all over the place, ready to go, right? Maybe you're feeling a little bit more clear-headed this week. You have some sort of direction, or maybe some of you have been confused about your direction. I like to look at the overall energy. It can go in all different directions, especially with the Knight of Swords, Gemini. This is right up your alley, though. Right? A lot of things coming at you at once, a lot of questions. Maybe you're finally getting some answers. Maybe things are moving pretty fast. You may be making a lot of choices this week. But the main choice could be to get out and find some freedom and go have some fun. All right. So that could be where this energy, if you're feeling like you're stuck or stagnant, and you just can't figure out what's going on in your situation, this is saying shake up the energy by going and doing something else, and something may come back around and revisit you faster than you can imagine. Things can turn around unexpectedly. That's this card as well. So always a surprise. So expect the unexpected this week with this kind of fast air energy. And it could be a night. Aries, maybe an Aries, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, that's coming towards you as well too. So a lot of air energy. So you, Two of Pentacles. Already my energy is accelerating for you because it does feel like you ultimately have a lot going on. Do I want work? Do I want play? All right. It looks like this week could be about play. All right. Sometimes I just, maybe I'm speaking to myself here, maybe it's time to go out and play, but we are getting closer to, warmer weathers, and, there's a lot going on, and some people just overworked, overwhelmed, and there is a sense of inconsistency going on for you right now. Maybe you feel like somebody's interested, maybe it kind of, goes back and forth, and then, but you just don't know what to do next. What's next? And this energy can be very confusing because for some of you, you could be just starting a relationship and you just don't know exactly how the person feels. And so you want more certainty. But right now, the Knight of Swords is like, you just got to kind of go with the energy and see where it takes you, right? And you may be making a decision. Maybe this week you're choosing between a couple different people that feel like, maybe one's not giving you enough attention. Maybe somebody's pulling back. Maybe you're supposed to go somewhere else and there's somebody else coming into your life, right? Maybe you do have a choice this week around if somebody's been holding you back. Do I need to, make a decision and move forward? Either way, it feels very overwhelming. And if you cannot make a choice and you just feel like somebody is going back and forth, or a situation just keeps going back and forth, and you're in your head about what you should do, right now, it could be going to take a ride or go somewhere. This will turn around faster than you think, but you could possibly or potentially get caught up and make a decision that you may regret in the future. So let's see what your biggest challenge is, Gemini. The Three of Swords. All right, how do you view the person or the situation that you're in? The Page of Pentacles. Feels like somebody's not always showing up for you inconsistently, and you're constantly getting your heart broken because plans are being broken. Or it seems like we make plans and then we're so close, and then we have to change it. We're always having to change. We're always having to, it feels like things are moving forward, and then somebody pulls back, and they seem very sincere, the Page of Pentacles. But in this energy, it can be a breadcrumber in a way. It can feel like a breadcrumber if you've experienced this in your past. Somebody's interested in you, but it seems like it's still up in the air, like whether we're friends or not, whether we want to move on or not, whether we want to do this again or not. We're still in the early stages. Now, I'm going to hit this a couple different ways. If you're reconnecting with somebody, or you've been going back and forth with somebody, and this has happened before, you're trying to reconcile a separation, and your person's still showing up as a Page of Pentacles, your anxiety's on high. You're already expecting a breakup again because this person has pulled their energy away from you before. So it's really hard for you to know what to do next, especially with that Knight of Swords energy. It can feel like, it's so fun at first. It's so exciting, and I get wrapped up, but then all of a sudden they pull their energy back, and I'm left here kind of sad. or feeling left alone, feeling unhappy about my decision, right? And so this is where too, you're not quite sure if this is coming around for you again, because this week it seems like I've been pulling up, people here during a retrograde tend to, do this back and forth kind of gig, right? It's like, I kind of got one foot in, one foot out, because that's how your person's feeling, they just don't know yet. And so that can really trigger your anxiety around separation, or preparing to get hurt again. But with the Two of Pentacles showing up here is that it's saying slow down. It's just a little overwhelming right now, and we can get ahead of ourselves because somebody here is showing up, but they're showing up slower, and it may feel like you're constantly battling whether you should take the next step or move forward. And this is where you're being asked to maybe go a different direction for a second. If you're making the second step again, or you're trying to push an energy along that's not ready to be pushed along. So let's look at your person so I can see the other side and see if I got it right. Your person, Ace of Pentacles. All right. So they've opened the door. The opportunity is here, but you are ready for the Two of Pentacles. What's next? Slow down. Slow down. All right. Because this also represents the energy of the week for you, the Knight of Swords, which can say you're moving at fast pace and you're wanting decisions, you're wanting clarity, you're wanting to know, you're wanting what's the intention, where are we going, what's happening. And that's all fine and dandy to know that. If this is somebody that you are new to meeting, all right, that is perfectly fine to want to know what their intentions are, and that is the Page of Pentacles. This is somebody here that's saying, I'm just trying to get to know you. But your challenge is the Three of Swords, which means you've been brokenhearted, or you're still, getting over somebody, or getting over something that has recently happened, or a doubt, which can say you could read this situation wrong. Now, your person is showing up as the Ace of Pentacles. They see you as potential. They are definitely planting seeds with you, but you're a step ahead, all right? And people who are a step ahead are hypervigilant because they've been hurt before. Now, your person's biggest challenge with you is the Hanged Man. Right now, they just don't have a definition to what this relationship is just yet. All right. They don't know. And that can be hard depending on what kind of situation you're in. But I'm here to help ease that up for you. All right. The Hanged Man says, I don't know, but it doesn't mean I don't care. I'm not interested. It just means I don't know. Something is shifting within your person. All right. And it is, I need time. It's a timing thing. I definitely see the opportunity, the doorway's open, right? And I just kind of right now, it's a pause. It's a still energy, right? And right now, everything's so uncertain with a lot of things that this energy's been showing up a lot in my readings, because if you're needing to move quick and your person's challenge is I'm taking it slow. I don't know what I want. I don't even know what we are yet. Even if I'm feeling feelings for you, because the Page of Pentacles is somebody that's like, right, you got my attention, but, we got to work this. We got to take it slow, right? Your person just doesn't know. And that's valid. Now, if you are in a relationship that keeps going back and forth, and someone, they're interested in you, but they keep holding back, they keep taking a step back. All right. That's the same thing too. It's just something in their mind is saying, maybe I'm just not ready yet. Maybe I just, and it could be they're just overcautious. Any kind of earthy energy expresses, I've got to really take this slow. I want to make sure everything is clicking, everything is happening. And if it's a relationship where we're reconciling, it's like, I don't know what we are yet, and I don't know where this is going, but I definitely do not want to repeat the past. We are not the same who we used to be, and just because I'm moving slow doesn't mean I don't want this. I just don't want to define our next moves based off of fear of what happened in the past. All right. And so if your person feels any kind of pressure because of anxiety, they're not feeling as though they can honor their pace. Right. So you're really dealing with time and issue here and pace. All right. Whereas your anxiousness, you're willing, you're wanting to move, you get bored easy. Let's see improvement. Doesn't mean this can't change, right? But this week we're looking at in this now energy that this could be what you're battling with. So how do they view you? The Emperor card. All right. What's the shift that's happening maybe this week with them that you might not be seeing? I see the King of Wands. So what a little bit of patience and telling our, nervous system to calm down and not expect a breakup, not expect uncertainty, not expect sadness, not expect sorrow, which is what you're expecting, can really make a difference in the outcome of this situation this week. Right? Your person sees you as the emperor. You are definitely somebody that is valuable. You're somebody that they can see very honorable. You're disciplined. You get stuff done. You're a hard worker. You have potential, more than just potential here with the emperor card. They know that you will follow through. But this is also taking one step at a time, like you're in charge here, like you're ready to take control. Now, with a little bit of patience this week with your person, you're seeing here what could shift is the King of Wands. Somebody here actually stepping up and meeting you where you're at. And you're seeing a team player here. But you're also seeing one thing here too. Power struggle. Two leaders, two alphas, two I wants, two I gets. I'm in charge. And you're the Two of Pentacles. So of course you're going to be ready to build something. You're the Emperor card. But now you're connecting with somebody here that is, look, I have a vision too. And I just want to make sure we're on the same page. That's it. And everybody takes their own, they have their own right to take as much time as they need to. But what I'm seeing here is your person here really does want to see where this goes, but it's going to be one goal at a time. Taking it one step at a time. And I think your only fear here is that you're expecting the worst case scenario, the worst outcome. And when we do that, we end up, it's like a self-prophecy, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It does happen. The more you dive into that theory, that belief system, we create what we believe to be true. And if not, and the reason why we can do that is because we're so afraid to get hurt that we might as well push at it to make sure it's solid. And sometimes we push at the most healthiest thing that could be solid just so we can break it, so we can prove to ourselves that it was going to not work anyways. So this week we do have, we see each other. We both have a vision, something coming together this week. What does Spirit think you should do regardless of this shift this week? And I'm seeing the Page of Wands. So I am still seeing this energy of coming at it from a more youthful stance, a more curious stance, a more playful stance, a more flirty stance. When you find yourself getting anxious over the Three of Swords, like this is going to break my heart, I'm going to say some of you, all right, some of you, if you're dealing with somebody that is constantly holding back, right, but they're interested, this is saying don't chase, don't go, don't move. Play your cards right with that Emperor card. All right. And if you're dealing with somebody that constantly breaks your heart and it doesn't go anywhere, and you needing to make a decision, you may need to decide whether somebody is just a friends with benefits. So those are just little side notes. And that's okay if somebody's a friends with benefits. It does show me a King of Wands showing up. So there's always potential for somebody to step up to the plate, even with a friends with benefits. But, facts show, though, the way something starts like that, can potentially end again. And if you're always doing that with people, and this is a new relationship, this reading today is saying don't start off as friends with benefits. Don't do that. Let your person step up to who you want them to be, the Emperor, or, you want them to be mature. You want them to show up with a plan, right? So this is why it's saying take something slow, not rush into something. I love you guys. Let's look at Aries to Pisces. Aries, Lover's card. You got a strong connection with Aries. It's really hard to resist them. But it is saying slow down, communicate and slow down. Taurus, Temperance card, also another energy. You guys have a lot in common, but you know, it's about balance and moderation. So taking it slowly. And we have Gemini, the Queen of Pentacles, grounded energy, slow and steady. All right, you get in the drift here this week. It's slow and steady, not fast and furious. But you can have fun and you can still be slow and steady, right? And we have Cancer. We have Four of Pentacles. All right. Stepping back a bit, right? Cancer here has got Four of Pentacles, which can tell me it's hard to get this person to really open up. So you do want to play it safe. You want to protect yourself, right? But it's about one step at a time, just getting to know them. So it does show me, you know, just slow down a little bit. If Cancer tends to pull away, it's because you're coming on too strong. Leo, Five of Pentacles. All right, Leo, different story here. Leo may be, you know, dealing with some difficulties in their life. You know, maybe they're afraid. They see the light. They see the potential here, you know, but something keeps them from opening up completely. But this is a week where it's a chance to turn that around. All right, because the door is open. You just have to show that show the way, show the light, right? So you might be dealing with some insecurity when it comes to a Leo. Virgo, Three of Cups, right? So we're seeing you guys having some fun, you know, kind of keeping things casual and playful and lighthearted, right? But that does not mean give up the goods. It just means have some fun and see where it takes you. Virgo, Knight of Cups. Virgo may actually open up and really tell you how they feel this week, all right? There's some love, there's some romance, there's a chance to really express and really take this relationship to the next step, all right? With the Virgo, their heart's in it. They may be being strategic a little bit, but that could be just because they really want to make sure that it's not just their heart and their desires, but this is something real and that this is going to go somewhere. Libra, the World card, things coming together this week with a Libra. The problem with the World card is it can feel like nothing's moving, but actually everything is kind of integrated and you just kind of got to a place and now you have to sit there and just let it breathe for a minute. And then the door opens and we start the next chapter. All right. So this week is just about being with what is and enjoying that things are coming together. Scorpio, Three of Wands, seeing movement this week. You may go somewhere, but it's where we're kind of getting through, having a breakthrough this week and maybe starting to see things clear up or where we're going. All right, so things moving and making progress with a Scorpio. And Sagittarius, the Fool card. So we have the Fool coming in. This is where maybe you do need a discernment with a Sagittarius, right? Are they constantly coming in? The Fool can be somebody that loves to start things, never finishes things, or comes in like, let's just see where things go, but it never goes anywhere because, you know, it's just constantly just no direction, right? Or it stops and goes. And it's because somebody's avoiding accountability, avoiding commitment. So this could be where you're really needing to slow down and take a step back and see where this is really going. And by slowing down, you can let them step up and actually start showing more effort. Capricorn, Six of Wands. So you're seeing some wins this week with a Capricorn, right? Focus on the little wins, not the whole war, right? You both want each other's attention and it's about being confident in things moving this week. Aquarius, Eight of Wands, right? So you got the Eight of Wands, which says things could move really fast with an Aquarius. Right, wait a minute. Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius. All right, so you want to be careful when you're seeing this fast energy showing up with the Eight of Wands because that can be pressure, and we're adding pressure to a situation because we're excited or we're afraid to lose it, right? So your Aquarius could come in fast and furious and exciting, but it could leave just as quickly. So you really do want to slow down with an Aquarius as well. And Pisces, Queen of Swords, using discernment. All right, sometimes you got to make a decision whether it feels good or not. So your emotions may get the best of you with the Pisces, but you need to look at the facts and take a step back and create boundaries, all right? So that you get to the truth this week, because you will see the truth when the Queen of Swords shows up and you don't want to ignore red flags. So if you're still with me, I'm going to do a yes, no for your question. Think about your question. All right, meditate on your question, and here we go. no. All right, but that you may have wanted to know, okay? But I got the devil card, and the devil card is showing me an addiction. So for some of you, there could be an addiction to a pattern. You've gotten used to a pattern with a person, and the Three of Swords could be why, you know, you get a little bit nervous when you enter a situation. You don't trust a situation. You need certainty, especially if you've dealt with unhealthy behaviors or patterns in the past, all right? This is a chance, though, to really test that pattern this week and see if it's just your pattern or if it really is the person, the situation, and the red flags. All right. So rather than getting anxious and trying to see the proof, taking a step back and seeing how the other person shows up for you. All right. Because in this reading, it does show that somebody is trying to step up. All right. I love you guys and take care.